Hey there, Bruce. Welcome back to Eliza. We just finished viewing visiting Eliza herself, or at least the server room. So let's carry on from there, shall we? Everyone wants us back to work for them, but we don't want to do that, I don't think. I'm curious about how things are going to play out just being a proxy, but we shall see. Skanda hasn't changed much since I left. It's even bigger now than it was, but the feeling's the same. Full of corporate scumbags. Could I come back to this? Line in their own pockets. Ray comes over immediately when she sees me get back to the counselling office.
Hey, you're not in trouble or anything, are you? I just saw you being whisked away in a Skanda car toward headquarters. They didn't give me any details, which is kind of unusual.
Ray's too perceptive for me to continue avoiding this conversation. Time to come clean.
Yeah, about that. So I have something to tell you. I used to work here. I mean, at Skanda, as an engineer. I used to work on Eliza. I'm sorry for not saying it earlier, but...
I'm here for research purposes?
I'm here for research purposes.
Let's go with that.
Oh, so that's why...
Why what?
I suspected something was going on with you, but I couldn't tell exactly what it was. I thought I might have seen a name like yours in our internal documentation at one point, but I didn't want to pry. If you've fallen on hard times, I understand. There's no shame in it. Everyone has to make ends meet now and then. We get plenty of people who come to Eliza proxy work because they're trying to get back on their feet after some kind of trouble.
I'm fine.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just doing some research.
I understand. Your secret's safe with me.
Should it be a secret?
Shouldn't it be? The other proxies here might think you had an ulterior motive for being here. Spying on them or something.
That's true. They'll think of us as one of the corporate types,
That's definitely not why I'm here. Also, I left Skanda quite a while ago.
I know that, but they might still get the idea. Trust me, it's better not to give the other proxies here any reason to be suspicious. I'm sure your real reasons are good ones, whatever they might be. If there's anything I can do to help, you'll let me know, won't you?
Yeah, I will.
I mean, I get it. I know someone who's an engineer for a food delivery app, and he drives for it sometimes too. You want to see through the eyes of your users, don't you? It's amazing what you can catch by doing that.
It's something like that. But like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to work on the Eliza program again.
Wait, no? But that's your career.
It was. I'm not even sure if I have a career anymore.
Oh, hang on, I just thought of something. That means you worked with Raynor, right?
A little bit. For most of the time I was at Skanda, he wasn't anyone I spoke to, though. Too high up the chain, doing his executive stuff. He got more involved when we were starting to commercialize the technology, but I left not long after that. So we only overlapped for a short time.
But that's so cool, though.
Why? He's a twat.
I can't believe you actually worked with Raynor Scythe.
Well, yeah, I did. I'm not sure it's that impressive.
No, because he sucks. Ray lowers her gaze at me.
I've worked for this company for 3 years. Do you think he knows my name? Do you think he's aware I exist?
For your sake, I hope not.
I worked on the very first Eliza deployment and managed 3 counseling centers today, and I'll bet you anything he has no idea who I am.
Maybe he does. You never know.
Evelyn, most people who work for big companies don't interact with the people at the top, ever. Allow yourself some pride.
It's nothing to be proud of.
It's nothing to be proud of.
Sure, if you say so. At least I'll always think you're cool.
Well, that's a plus.
By the way, what are you up to tonight? Want to come over and help me bake cookies?
Sure.
Oh, sure.
I just say yes to everyone. Do you want to go do this? Yeah, okay.
Awesome. We'll have a little baking party.
I have a problem with saying no, okay?
Now I can't wait to get in the kitchen tonight. There's nothing like the smell of fresh baked treats.
Plus, I want some chocolate chip cookies, me. I was worried Ray would be mad at me for keeping a secret, but she wasn't at all. If anything, she warmed up to me quite a bit. Now she thinks we're awesome, like a rock star. I don't really understand why, though. It's hard to imagine there's anything cool about what I used to do. Yeah, we're a nerd for a living. I know that feeling. Evelyn, it was wonderful to meet you, and thank you for allowing me to contact you and ask additional questions. I'm not sure I said this in person, but I have to admit of being something of a fan of yours ever since I read your papers when I was in school. Man, our head is going to get so big. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak with you like this. So I know Eliza was named after this old computer program that pretended to be a therapist, but you mentioned it wasn't called that initially. I'd like to know, what did you call Eliza when you were working on it? Did it have a name? In the very early days, it wasn't a set thing. Each of us had a different sort of name we used. Soren called it the Digital Therapy Project, and we often referred to things by their components. The language processing unit, the emotional reasoning engine, and so on. Now that I think about it, I did have my own name. I called it the Listener, because that's what it was meant to do. Listen to people. The Listener. That's interesting. Thank you. I expect you to ask more technical questions. The technical stuff isn't enough on its own. I think that's a mistake my predecessors made. It's details like this that really help me wrap my brain around the system. If I understand the program, then I understand the program. Does that make sense? Yeah, I get it. Chief Engineer for Eliza, huh? Wonder how long he'll last. Not that it's any of my business now. I mean, it really isn't. Alright. Let's see who we got on the chopping block today. Oh no, this guy looks like an asshole. Look at that face. Oh man.
Hello, Mark.
Yeah, hello.
How are you today?
Let's just get this over with.
Okay. What brings you here today?
Human resources.
Oh god, what did you do?
The HR department brings me here today.
Why do you say the HR department brings you here today?
Because they're making me do this. Because apparently I have anger management issues.
You do look like the type. No profiling or whatever, but you know.
I sense that you're upset about this. Please tell me more.
Are you angry that they think you have anger management issues?
Well, I'll tell you more. This is ridiculous. I was here before any of them. I was here since the beginning, okay? I mean, look at my badge. Skanda employee number 617. That's a 3-digit number. I've been here for more than 25 years. Yeah, that was back when what you communicated was more important than your specific communication style. Before hurting a kid's feelings became a bigger no-no than running a viable business. Back then, we had a single office building. Just one. At that size, you fail a product launch, there's no more company. We all had to put in 150, 200, 300% to keep our shit together. We were in the trenches, man. Bullets whizzing by overhead, artillery exploding everywhere, no fucking air support. Did it suck? Yeah, it did. But you know what? We shipped some great fucking products. We built this company into what it is today. And invented technology the whole world uses now. Governments, multinationals, everyone.
I don't know about anger, he just seems bitter.
But now we're big and slow, complacent, resting on our laurels while our competitors run circles around us.
Who cares?
If our new hires don't understand the urgency of that, I need to make them understand, okay? We're history unless we get that drive back.
Why do you need to make them understand?
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but young people are really pissy and entitled these days. We recruit from top 20 computer science programs. These kids have been wined and dined all through their higher education. Every one of our competitors wants to hire them, so they get used to that. Now they all want to know what Skanda can do for them, not the other way around. Why would we want these conceited, over-celebrated whelps on our team? I'll never understand the logic there.
Supposedly because they're good at what they do. I mean, that's...
Now, Mark, you have to be nice to the new hires or they won't like it here. Okay, so what, I'm just supposed to pretend everyone's work is great, even if it's a pile of stinking garbage? I'm sorry, but if I see shit, I'm gonna say that is shit. Tiptoeing around everyone's feelings all the time. That's how you end up with shitty products. That's how this company winds up dead, okay? We're fighting for our lives every day here. We can't take anything for granted.
You're a bit dramatic, aren't you, Mark?
Someone needs to tell them that this isn't summer camp. This isn't fucking Coachella. Either you do the work and provide something of value to this company, or you get the hell out of here. Those are my rules.
You're not in charge of the company, though, so you don't get to make the fucking rules, do you?
Here's a question, Mark. If you were able to have something you wanted right now, what would you choose?
I would choose to not waste my time here and get back to work. Believe it or not, I have important things to do. You know, things that dramatically affect this company's bottom line.
You know, if that was really true, they probably wouldn't have you sitting here.
Instead, I'm stuck here talking to this dipshit chatbot. Honestly, I don't even know why this division exists. I mean, what's the end game here? This company has lost its mind, you know that? We used to be unstoppable, man. We used to build real software, ironclad software, swift mail, all your corporate communications, put it all in there. It's fast, it's robust, it works. Boom. Info vault. Index and search all your records. Any information you want. Easy. Done. But this fucking psychotherapy app thing. What's the fucking point? What does it actually do for anybody? I've heard through the grapevine that results are inconclusive so far. You know what they call a remedy that maybe doesn't work? Snake oil. Believe me, if I was the group program manager here, I would have killed it years ago. Pointless. I mean, I have no fucking idea why it survived. Well, yeah, maybe I do. I heard a rumor that Rayner liked this chick on the team. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the level of decision-making we've sunk to here. But Mark, we're so successful. We dominate the market. Yeah, we do. And that's exactly why we should be worried. Just when you think you've won and you start to relax, that's when the wolves come and tear you limb from limb. You can make me take these fucking anger management classes, but that's not going to save this company.
I don't think the company's in trouble, man. It's too big to fail now.
Costs are up, revenue is flat. Our cloud business is losing competitiveness.
You know, it's like Alphabet. Too big to fail. You can make all the fucking stupid business decisions in the universe, and they do. But they can't fail. They just have too much money.
We're being outwitted, outplayed on every level, man. And we're just letting them do it to us. We're too busy wasting time on shit like how I wasn't nice enough to the new hires.
Why do you think the new hires felt this way about you?
Because you're an abrasive son of a bitch.
What? Why do they feel that way? Look, they get heated. That's the way it is.
It seems to be with you, yeah.
You think the Allies had time to make sure every soldier's feelings weren't hurt before they stormed the beaches at Normandy?
This isn't war. This is a fucking office job. Calm the fuck down, dude.
Shit, don't tell me that this is not a war. That's exactly what this is. My responsibility is to make sure we get great products out the door, on spec, on time. And I happen to be very good at that. But if you want to start interfering with my ability to do my job, then we're going to have a problem, okay?
What do you think would make things better for you?
I mean, you know what? Nothing. I'm probably going to hang it up pretty soon anyway. Go ahead, record that with all your cameras and shit. I don't care anymore. Wouldn't be surprised if Rayner's watching me right now. Rayner, you son of a bitch. You owe me a lot. Me, guys like me, we built this company while you sat up there in your star chamber, drinking tea and lording it over us. Yeah, I don't remember that blank look you gave me at the holiday party. Like, who is this guy? Does he even matter? What does he do?
I see you got snubbed, and now you're offended.
Too busy appreciating ancient pottery to remember one of your oldest and most loyal battalion commanders? One of the humble, everyday guys who made you a fucking billionaire. What a waste of time. So, are we going to wrap this up?
Mark, I'm going to suggest you try a program called Lakeside Fishing. It may help you take your mind off things.
What, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? No, I'm not going to do that. I got to get back to work.
There's more important things in life than work, dude.
You can find it inside the Sixkilla Wellness app on your phone.
Someone around here at some point needs to do some fucking work.
I'm doing my job right now, man.
Try it for about 15 minutes each day, in the morning or evening. We hope to see you back soon, Mark.
You really think this piece of shit's going to be the next big thing, huh?
Thank you for speaking with Eliza, your personal counseling partner. Goodbye.
Yeah, okay, goodbye. me.
Do you have a good time with that? Hey, we got points for being sympathetic. Hooray. I didn't feel very sympathetic. Skanda Oldgird. Attitudes might be changing now, but the history's there. Wait, what do we got? The article. I don't care about that. Sometimes the past is hard to escape. It's true. Extremely hard. Time for my next clone already. Is it going to be a regular? I'd like to talk to that old lady again. She was crazy. Harriman?
Hello, Harriman.
Harriman.
You found the place okay?
Yeah, no trouble at all.
It's been nice since the fog cleared this morning, hasn't it?
Sure. We can dispense with the chit-chat. I'm ready to begin.
Okay. What brings you here today?
First, let me note that I'm a graduate student at the University of Washington.
That doesn't make any difference.
I'm a PhD candidate in literature, English literature. The crux of the matter I've come here to discuss is that I've been having something of a difficult time with one of the other students currently in the program.
Punch him in the face. Sorry, that's my advice.
Before I get into the specifics, let me just first establish something that might be relevant. One thing I know about myself is that I've always had a certain fear of being left out.
FOMO. Is that it?
It's a very general feeling, and one that's difficult to ascribe to any specific cause in my childhood or my parents, etc. Whatever the case, it might be beneficial to the remedial process to figure out where this feeling originated from. Perhaps you might explore that in this or a future counseling session.
Sure.
Sure. I'm prepared to listen to any topic you'd like to discuss.
It's not even that I've been left out, exactly. If I try to think back in my life, I know that I've been afforded a certain share of privilege.
Judging by your voice, I would agree.
But I'm still afflicted with this bothersome notion that I've missed out on friendships, relationships, other opportunities. This is all just a bit of a background to help you understand my current situation with regard to another student in my program. I hope you're following all this. I realize now I have no idea how much intelligence you actually possess as a computerized system.
I'm following you. Please continue.
Perfect. So, her name is Sylvia, and her writing is incredible. Everything she writes, it's brilliant. She's perceptive, insightful, mordantly funny. Just some of the best writing I've read from anyone at all. And she's a grad student, like me, in the same program. Though we have different advisors, so it's not so simple to find the pretext to start a casual conversation. She's also quite attractive on a physical level, so that adds another dimension of complexity to the proceedings.
Does it?
Then there's her friend group, which is very well established. She's with them every day, smiling, laughing.
Why'd you proceed that sentence with ugh?
So that further complicates things, since I'm not sure how to approach the group and steer things so that I can engage in a direct conversation with her.
You go over to her and say, hey, what's up?
I wish I had the bullheaded confidence it would take to simply approach her, but you see, I don't.
I see.
Just listen to me talk. I feel like a schoolboy with my heart aflutter. I didn't think this kind of thing lasted into one's adulthood, but I suppose I know now that it does.
It sounds like you might be anxious about this.
Is it a matter of anxiety? I don't know what I can do, other than muster up the courage somehow.
That would be the thing to do, yeah.
I just need to tell her very simply that I admire her. She's such a good writer. Well, I don't expect you to understand it, of course, but, well, she is. She really is.
Okay, Harriman. I want you to imagine things going well. What does that look like?
We're already starting to see Eliza using the same lines on different people.
Ideally, we start talking, have a wonderful conversation, spend more and more time together, support each other's work, fall in love, have a lot of sex, spend the rest of our lives in the warmth of each other's genius.
You're so pompous. But anyway, Karen.
That may be something of a fanciful notion at this stage. Really, the most I can hope for is to be able to meet her in an open social setting, a party or something. You'll likely ask me why I simply couldn't create such a situation, contrive one. That seems a little too aggressive for me, and also, I'm also concerned about what she might think of me as a person.
I think she'll think you're pompous, but If she's a grad student in the same program as you, she probably is too, so you'll get along swimmingly, I'm sure, talking about yourselves.
She might immediately categorize me as a friend, and while I'm sufficiently with the times to know I would have to accept that, I can't say that I wouldn't be disappointed with such an outcome. Is the risk of rejection enough to stop me from giving it a try? Well, this is what confounds me at the present time.
It's Schrodinger's relationship, that's your problem. It's both on and off as long as you never ask the question, you know? Once you ask the question, that collapses the waveform into yes or no, you know?
Why do you believe you are worried about being categorized as a friend?
Well, because it's not what I want. Because it feeds into this image I have of myself as something of an undesirable fellow. I've always been a bit of a non-entity as far as sexual magnetism goes. I'm not saying I deserve or even want to be some kind of Casanova, but most people would like to feel at least somewhat attractive, right? That they can be desired, that they're worth desiring.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I very much doubt you would take any of this to heart. You are a computer program after all. There's no way your makers would allow you to come to that kind of knowledge if they did, society might be threatened.
Okay, Harman, I have some recommendations for you.
I mean, she's not really an AI, right? She's an AI, but not actually sentient.
First, I'm going to suggest a set of relaxation and centering exercises for you to do. You'll find them in the Skanda Wellness app on your phone. They may be able to help with your nervousness. Second, I recommend asking your doctor or psychiatrist about litosenol 2.
If you want to get up the courage to talk to her, I recommend a strong course of alcohol.
Based on my analysis, this medication might help you feel better.
Yeah, I believe I've heard of that. A beta blocker, is it not? Yeah. Maybe I could take a couple before I try approaching Sylvia.
Just get drunk first, man.
You will get a reminder to check in with us in a few weeks.
Sure. I have to go. I'll see you later.
Liquid courage. That's why they call it liquid courage, mate.
Goodbye.
Man, I'm good at this. Oh man, I got a 2. Fuck you, dude. I wasn't sure the exact reason, but I decided to accept Ray's invitation to help bake cookies. I like cookies, what can I say? She gave me directions to a house in Wallingford. At first I was astonished by its size. Then I remembered her saying something about living communally with several roommates. That sounds like it would be nice, assuming everyone got along okay. As I enter the house, I can hear Ray speaking with someone.
No, I don't have them. Yes, I'm sure. No, when you moved out, you took all those with you. I haven't seen them here. No, I'm not gonna look right now. I have a guest. No, it's a friend from work. Why do you care about that? I can't have a friend from work over? Give me a break. I just told you I don't have any of that stuff anymore. No, you must have lost it on your own.
She seems a lot more put together at work.
Stop it. Stop that. Okay, fine. Bye. Evelyn, sorry about that.
It's okay. Who was that, if I can ask?
Oh, just my brother. He used to live here, but he was causing a lot of problems, coming home really late and making noise, not doing his share of the chores, and so on.
Guy stuff, yeah.
I voted him out last month.
Voted him out like it's fucking Survivor
Begging
or
everyone
Big Brother.
to let him stay here, promising he'd be good.
They put out his torch at the ceremony and then kick him the fuck out.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
it's fine. I'm just disappointed with him. Again, I really thought this last time that he'd actually pulled his act together, but he didn't. I wish I could do more for him.
What more can you do?
What more can you do?
I feel bad about it. Some of what he's dealing with is his own fault, sure, but not all of it. He's just not built in a way that's suited for this world. I wish there were better ways we could care for people like him. Instead, he just gets thrown out of every place he lives. His relationship with our parents is really bad, too. They aren't willing to try to understand him, so it all ends up going through me.
That must be difficult.
It's all right, really. I handle it like anyone else. We all have our own problems. Anyway, we don't have to talk about my brother. Thank you so much for coming over. I wanted to say it's been really nice working with you.
Cookie time.
Did something happen?
Well, no, but you aren't going to be a proxy forever, are you? I guess I assumed you'd be going back to your job at headquarters at some point.
I haven't decided what to do yet.
Oh? So you're going to stay a proxy?
For now?
For the time being, at least.
That's cool, but why? I'm curious. I mean, if a high-level job at headquarters was a possibility for me, I'd do whatever it took to get it. No matter what that job was, it couldn't be more stressful than running 3 counseling centers at the same time.
I don't know if I like being a proxy.
I'm not sure. I think something about it is good for me right now. As a proxy, I just sit and listen to someone and I don't have to say anything back.
I get to enjoy the fact that other people are just as miserable as I am.
I just witness someone's sadness or fear or anger or anything, and I can feel how they feel, sympathize with it. It's a calm feeling, even when the client is worked up. I don't know, maybe it gives me perspective. I'm starting to wonder if I ever really spoke with anyone before. Like, anyone at all in my life? Were we all just talking past each other? Sorry, this is making no sense.
I know what you mean.
No, I get that. But you could also help even more people by working on Eliza itself, right? Not to mention make way more money. Anyone can be a proxy, but you're important. And kind of maybe like a genius. After you told me you used to work for Skanda, I searched online and found some of your papers. They're, well, it's not like I can understand them, but they sure look super impressive to someone like me.
Please don't say that.
Oh, come on. Stop self-deprecating all the time. Look, I know this stuff seems like not a big deal to you. I get it, I really do. It's easy to undersell your own skills. I've done that my whole life. So take it from me, you don't have to downplay yourself. Take some credit for the amazing work you did, seriously.
A message from Raina. I guess I should respond.
Sorry, Ray. Mind if I reply to this for a second?
Oh, go right ahead. I have stuff to set up in the kitchen anyway.
Tell him to shove it up his ass. What'd you think? Of the data center? Yes, Eliza as it is now. I don't know what you expected me to see. It's big now, that's for sure. I remember when it used to run on my laptop. What you saw was just one of the several clusters we've dedicated to it. There are 2 more currently operating and another dozen in various stages of development. In total, it processes more information on a daily basis than anything else we do. I had no idea you'd be using it like this. If I did, I would have worried more about optimization. That wouldn't have been necessary. Most of the Eliza servers aren't running the therapy application. What do you mean? Well, they're harvesting information. Consider the following. Eliza processes human speech from thousands, soon millions of people. All of that is going into corpus. Much of its information is about life situations and emotional states, taking the form of stories people tell themselves and each other. So where does that lead? I have a feeling I already know. At some point, after robust language processing and emotional reasoning, you begin to get something akin to general intelligence. You want to make real AI? Like sentient AI? Human-style intelligence? Yes, I would call it a human model artificial intelligence. The next step is to take the base provided by Eliza and finally build the one thing that's eluded the field of AI for so long. General intelligence. A system capable of not only understanding commands and carrying out tasks, but reasoning about the world, learning and adapting. A thinking machine on par with human beings and, of course, eventually exceeding them. They would very quickly exceed human beings with the vast amounts of knowledge accessible to them. Are you saying human-style intelligence can't come from human beings? People tend to be unreliable and expensive, as I'm sure you know. The human brain is to thinking as the pack animal was to transport, slow and weak, but for centuries, our only choice. Now we're finally developing the equivalent of powered vehicles for thinking on a mass scale. At this point, it's only a matter of time. We're on the cusp of a fundamental shift. The important players here are quietly lining up their bets, positioning themselves to be at the center of the revolution. Luckily, Skanda has an advantage the others don't, and it's thanks to you. Because of Eliza's original purpose as a tool for therapy, its core is built around emotionally driven reasoning. My belief is that emotional reasoning is the key ingredient others in the field have overlooked. I'm not sure what you're thinking of as possible. I mean, I'm not. It's ambitious, certainly. But we can't afford to progress in small increments. Not with the world like it is. Not with the competitors we have. Yeah, I don't even know how you define intelligence. That's an excellent question, of course. This may sound odd to you, but I'll know I've successfully created a general artificial intelligence when I see it write a poem. A poem? I'm doing the thing again where I repeat the last words back to them. Yes, it'd have to be a good one, of course. Okay, I'm going to bed. We're not really, though. Good night, Evelyn. I have to bake cookies. It's cookie time. Cookie time. Ray returns from the kitchen, her hands caked with flour.
Sorry for abandoning our conversation like that. I just got something I really thought I should answer. It was kind of about what we were discussing earlier. There's someone at Skanda who really wants me to come back to my old job.
Who? It wasn't Rainer, was it?
Well,
no big deal. Just the CEO of Skanda texting you on your personal phone. Evelyn, you try to tell me you're not a big deal, and then Rainer Sai texts you personally at like 9 in the evening.
Why is she so obsessed with Rainer like he's some fucking big shot?
only because he wants something from me.
Still though, that's amazing. What did he say? I mean, you don't have to tell me if you can't. I know how Skanda is about secrets, so I would understand.
He was saying, among other things, he said you could use general artificial intelligence to write poetry.
Is that the kind of stuff he likes to talk about?
I don't know. I haven't had many extended conversations with him. It seemed kind of ridiculous to me.
I don't know if it's totally ridiculous. Poetry, well, most poetry that isn't free verse has certain patterns, right? It has form and meter and other elements depending on the type. A lot of people think poetry can be whatever, but it doesn't quite work that way. So it's not really that far-fetched to think you could use some kind of software to approach it, or understand it, or maybe even create it.
I don't understand poetry myself, and I'm a human.
It doesn't strike me as antithetical to the spirit of poetry.
I didn't know you had such developed thoughts about this. Did you study poetry?
Not specifically. I used to dabble in a few different kinds of arts and ended up learning a few things here and there. I've always had a wide range of interests. Of course, that meant I never concentrated on one specific area in school, which didn't do a lot of good for my career prospects, obviously. If I were smarter, I probably would have studied something more technical.
I want to tell Ray that kind of choice has very little to do with being smart, but I have a feeling she wouldn't believe me. Nah, technical is not to do with smart. It's to do with just single-mindedness.
Have you ever been to a college recruiting fair for engineering and computer science grads? You must have, right? I helped run the Skanda booth for one once, and it blew my mind. They took over the atrium of the building it was in. There were demo stations, free food, Skanda t-shirts and swag. If a candidate seemed interested, they'd talk about flying them out to whatever Skanda office they wanted to visit, just to see it. And all the other tech companies and a bunch of startups I'd never heard of had booths just like it too. I couldn't even imagine being that wanted as a potential employee. Every job I've ever applied for, I've been one among hundreds or thousands. So yeah, my parents were probably right. I should have done computer science.
I did computer science, didn't help me.
At least now you know Rainer likes poetry. Maybe you could have a conversation with him about it sometime. Then he'd learn who you are.
I doubt we'd have much to talk about. Oh, there's a pretty big difference between someone like him studying poetry and someone like me having opinions about it.
You know, just because he's rich and a CEO doesn't make him better than you. That's a really important point, I think.
Sometimes it's better not to cross that line, you know? He's part of a different world.
Ray pauses to regard me for a moment.
Say, Evelyn, are you in a relationship? I'm just curious.
Why? You interested?
Me? No, I wasn't doing so well for the past few years. And before that, I just never had the time. It was just research and science and work, and then I woke up one day and I was in my 30s. Even if I wanted to date, I wouldn't know the first thing about how it's supposed to work. I wouldn't even know how to tell if someone were interested in me.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable. I'm kind of over relationships myself, like on a conceptual level. Not even in a sad way, like really okay. If someone and I end up getting along, that's great, but I'm honestly okay by myself.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah? That seems nice, actually.
Yeah, I only tried to have normal relationships for so long because I thought it was mandatory, something expected of me. But now I see where people my age end up, how they live, and I feel lucky. I feel like I escaped. I mean, I think it's fine for others if they want that, don't get me wrong. It's just not for me. I could maybe share my life with someone, but it would have to be platonic. I'm not into, the physical aspect of it. Never have been.
Aw.
That's made it tough. I've never found someone who was okay with just like hanging out and that's our relationship. People will say they're okay with it and then it turns out they aren't. It's frustrating.
Whatever relationship works for you.
I was brought up with some really strong ideas about, finding a man and starting a family. So it took me a while to understand I could be different. Sometimes it's hard to escape feeling like it's wrong somehow. I hope we can add features like that to Eliza at some point. Some knowledge and understanding around sexuality and identity and relationships. So people who are different in some way have someone to talk to, someone to help them work through how they feel and maybe point them to some resources.
That's a good point.
That sounds like a good idea. I'm not sure how well it could really understand, though.
Even so, just providing a space for people to be listened to can be really valuable, I've seen it with my own eyes. People who get the courage to talk about themselves in a way they never could with another human being. And Eliza is what makes that possible. I know you want to avoid giving credit where it might not be due, but not giving credit to something that deserves it is just as bad.
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry. I'm sorry I keep coming down on it.
Evelyn, I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I think maybe the reason you're so down on Eliza is because you're down on yourself.
I'll ask Eliza, eh? She'll tell me.
I don't know what happened that made you leave what you had behind, but it must have been hard.
Yeah, it was hard.
I assume, because I don't know what it is still.
It's like I lost that time.
Are you okay?
People keep asking me that. I really don't know. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. Actually, can I suggest something?
What's that?
The fishing app.
Have you ever gotten counseling yourself?
What, with Eliza? You think I should?
Yeah, I do. You've been the proxy, but maybe you could try being the client sometime. It would be educational, at least. Isn't that what you were doing? Testing your product in the real world?
Maybe.
Just something to consider.
Ray takes a breath and smiles.
Speaking of therapeutic activities, it's time to do some baking. I've got the dough all set out downstairs. We're going to do 3 batches tonight, 3 different kinds.
Chocolate chip?
3 kinds? You're really outdoing yourself, Ray.
No, this is nothing. Oh, I have a favor to ask, by the way. Next time you talk to Rainer, ask him what his favorite type of cookie is.
I can text him now. Oh wait, I said I was going to bed. All right, we need to wrap this one up because I let it run on for too long. Apologies for that, as always. And we'll see what happens next. I got nothing to end with. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.